What a spot, dude. Wow. This has pretty much been like the winter mountain retreat that I definitely needed. I was really missing the forest, and the cool thing about the forest in the winter was that like I have the complete total pick of all the spots. I love the forest. I think the forest is my favorite place in the entire world. Well, hello again on this very windy morning here out in the mountains. Had to move inside. I'm sure with the wind you probably couldn't hear me. I'm just like a quarter mile down the way from that last spot where we went through that beautiful snowstorm, and I did not sleep that well last night because the wind was crazy and it was rocking this camper around. I actually woke up at like 2 in the morning to the camper shaking and rocking around, and I was debating really hard on whether or not I should move it even like 20 feet or something, just because of trees, dude. So unfortunately today the weather has kind of dictated what I'm gonna do next. I really have enjoyed my time here in the forest. It's been really nice to just relax, obviously hit the gym, shower, it's been like a truck camper mountain spa day, really. And there's another winter storm coming in, which I'm super stoked about. I love winter truck camping, but the thing about this storm is later on today, it's going to be bringing like 50-mile-an-hour winds, which is insane. And those winds are supposed to continue for the next day, maybe 2. Given all of that information, a couple things. Obviously, I'm out here in the forest. I have looked for several meadow spots, and I have found a few that are super awesome, but because we're gonna get like 5 to 10 inches of snow, I really don't want to drive that crazy road out to the middle of nowhere to get to that meadow spot and risk not being able to get out. Also with the temperatures, dude, this truck camper is all that I have, and I really don't want to risk my tanks freezing. And the most important thing, really, I mean, obviously a forest, so we're surrounded by trees, but like 50-mile-an-hour winds, dude, is just a little bit much. You know, with the heavy snowfall and the winds and the ice and freezing, there's a pretty high chance that a lot of those trees are going to snap, and obviously I don't want to deal with that. I do not need a tree falling situation right now with my truck camper or anything like that. So I have looked up a couple other options and places to go to, even though I don't really want to leave this spot. It's just the way she goes. Sometimes the weather kind of dictates what you do. So I'm gonna see if maybe we still can't enjoy this winter storm as it passes through the area, just maybe somewhere where there's a lot less trees. Hopefully still with some scenic views. I'm not sure. I do have like a day and a half to figure that out. So that all being said, I suppose it's time to fire up the old Dodge and see where the next couple days take us. One last look at that beautiful view, dude. Such a good time here. Man, dude, this wind is crazy. Definitely time to get out of here. It's been such a pleasure to be here in the mountains, though. by, you beautiful mountain view. What an amazing time I've had out here. On to the next spot, I suppose. Might as well do a little sightseeing while we're here, I suppose. I just went to pick up the camera from that last shot, dude. And it's crazy, like, I'm only like 10 miles after the mountains and the wind has died down substantially. It's probably only like 15, maybe 10 miles an hour. And the weather, the weather is like 10, 15 degrees warmer already. Nice sunny day. Absolutely beautiful. So far, I do not regret this decision, even though we're going back to Page, where I've spent way too much time. You can still see the mountains from here too. It's very beautiful. That's where we were, dude. Such a good time. Beautiful view. Crazy. Looks like it's under construction. Renovation time, I suppose. Still, dude, that's pretty sweet. You know, if you don't have a truck camper, that probably looked like a lot, but I gotta tell you, like, in my first van, I DoorDashed for a very long time, worked my butt off so that I could get one of those super expensive composting toilets, and like, that was disgusting, dude, and I will never use that again. And in my second van, I used like a fold-out toilet with like, it's like a fold-out thing, and then you put a bag in there. And that was pretty nice, but like, one of my favorite things about having a truck camper is having a toilet with like water, like a real regular flushing toilet. It's amazing. And dumping it, I always thought that that would be like a huge pain in the butt, but it is like the easiest, simplest, even cleanest thing ever. It takes like zero time. I can stay out in the wild for like 13 to 15 days at this point before I have to like dump it. And there's free dump stations everywhere. Worst case scenario, like if you're in a super remote area, then like you have to go to a campground and they'll charge you 10 bucks. It's still totally worth it. Way better than a composting toilet, a bucket, a fold out toilet, whatever. I love my toilet. And I guess this concludes my passionate talk about truck camper toilets. And here we are, back at the old Walmart, dude. Just a couple rigs here today. Man, dude, it is crazy windy out there still, even here in Page. I wouldn't really consider this much of a recipe per se, but since we're in a Walmart parking lot, every time lately when I've been able to go to a Walmart, which if you've been following along with the channel, then you know that I'm always super stoked to be able to go into a Walmart and buy food. I know like usually about once a week on the channel, I cook like an extravagant meal, and a lot of the times those meals aren't even the greatest for you, but like during the week, dude, I try to eat super healthy, lots of high protein vegetables and usually low carb. So one of my go-to meals lately whenever I've been able to stay in a Walmart or at least go to a Walmart has been just one of those chickens that they sell, and then broccoli with some garlic and butter, and then Parmesan cheese. So it's kind of like a chicken parm broccoli something, I don't know, and I usually eat it with eggs, but it's super quick and easy and healthy, and it's been great to like just throw together. And I'll just show you here what I got going on, just in case you want to cook a super quick healthy dinner some night and you don't want to spend a whole ton of time. So again, all this recipe is a Walmart chicken, which is like $4, maybe $5, depending on where you live, some Parmesan cheese, broccoli, butter, and garlic. And I'll just show you how I throw this all together here. Takes maybe 10 minutes. Suppose we'll see if I nail this part. I always mess it up. Not bad. Just some broccoli chicken, Parmesan, and 3 eggs. I'd say with one chicken, You can probably get like 3 meals, maybe even 4 out of this, depending on how much you eat. So that's pretty good value. I mean, I eat a lot, but this is my go-to kind of stuff during the week. So good. Man, another night, second one in a row with like horrible sleep, dude. These winds are just insane. I already kind of knew that this was going to happen, but they weren't supposed to be this strong. But the winds have followed me to Page, Arizona. The winds were only supposed to be like 10 miles, 15 miles at most an hour, but like, dude, they were crazy. And man, they rocked the camper back and forth all night. And what was crazy, but I got super lucky. In Walmart parking lots, I set my Starlink up there on the hatch. I run the cord through there and just set it on the roof so that I can, do some video editing. I kept checking the Weather Channel app as I was feeling the wind. I didn't think it was a big deal. I mean, obviously the Starlink is like connected at the cord, so it would take a lot of force to like rip that off. But it did, dude. The Starlink just flew completely all the way forward to the front of my truck camper, and it flew off and landed on the ground in the Walmart parking lot. And I have no idea how I got so lucky, but it still works. Lesson learned: if there's ever a question of like high winds again and I'm in like a Walmart parking lot or something, I will never set my Starlink up on the roof. So, I don't want to stay in this Walmart parking lot tonight again. I don't like to stay like in the same public places like twice in a row. But like, dude, the winds are super high still. So I've got kind of a game plan. I did look around and I did find like a super amazing spot to go to. It's a little less than an hour away, so I'm gonna try to head there. I really don't like driving my truck camper through super high winds. So fortunately for me, I'm pretty familiar with the area. So I do know of a spot like right outside of Page. So if I get out on the highway and the wind's rocking the camper around too much, then there is a spot like right on the Utah-Arizona border. I would say it's probably like 15 minutes away from here, where I can pull over right off the highway. Obviously, that would just be kind of giving up and admitting defeat to the wind, but that's just the way she goes sometimes, dude. And obviously I'm not going to risk my truck camper getting damaged or like a solar panel flying off or something like that just because I'm somewhere I don't want to be temporarily. So hopefully it's just good, I mean, I've driven this truck camper through some pretty crazy winds, like 50-mile-an-hour winds right when I left Nebraska, actually, and everything was flat there. So the wind was even worse. I suppose everything's kind of flat here too, but this truck camper can handle a lot, so hopefully it just works out. But if it doesn't, I do have a plan B. The spot that I saw looks super amazing, and the winds are supposed to be about 20 miles an hour less than they are here. So fingers crossed we make it. I don't know. Well, it's not the greatest spot that I've ever found. I found a much better spot down this road, but dude, it had rain previously and it's just way too sketchy. The wind's picked up quite a bit. We're supposed to get like, I don't know, it says like 1 to 3 inches tonight, and I'm not gonna risk going further down to the amazing spot. Like, amazing, dude. But I'm not gonna risk going down there and then not being able to get back out for several days, because I don't see that it's supposed to be dry for like the next 2 or 3 days. So this might be an area where I just kind of chill and wait it out, dude. I don't know. The spot down there is, it'd just be stupid to drive away from that spot without camping at it. And I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. So I suppose, I don't know if that'll be in this episode or not. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this wind has really been bringing me down. And I mean, I know that there's like gonna be wind everywhere. Obviously I look at the forecast, but like, dude, it is so windy outside and so cold that like I tried to go for like a little walk, but like it just wasn't as fun, man. Like I think at this point, like, I've kind of decided that like rain, snow, sun, clouds, cold, hot, whatever, like I'm totally fine with all of it. I'm not a fan of wind. It was so windy that like all that snow just blew off my solar panels, so I didn't have to get up on the roof and like shovel them off and do all that stuff. So I suppose that's the bright side, but it is still a beautiful area. It's not exactly the spot that I wanted, but I found an amazing spot. So stay tuned, because that's definitely going to be in one of the next Truck Camper Life episodes. But this is pretty much just kind of turned into a lazy snow day, which is totally fine. I have not had one of those in a very long time. So what we're going to be making today is pretty lazy as well. And I was going to fire up the slow cooker. I kind of decided against it. I figured it'd kind of be a wise decision just to conserve all the power that I have for the next couple days, since it's not supposed to be sunny at all and it's supposed to be cloudy and cold. But we're still going to cook it on the stove, and I really don't think there's going to be much of a difference. Tonight we're going to be making some white chicken chili queso. So I'm sure everybody has their favorite type of queso recipe. I have mine as well. I have never tried this. I saw this in the store and I really wanted to try the new white chicken chili. I love Hormel chili, so I figured might as well give it a whirl in this recipe. But yeah, we're going to be using some queso fresco, some chunk chicken breasts, some diced tomatoes, the super hot like habanero kind, pepper jack cheese, cilantro, and just a little bit of cream cheese. Pretty basic, really. You just throw it all into a pan and heat it up, and we'll just see how she goes. Not gonna lie, it's good. It's kind of a little bland. It's good, like I'll eat it. I mean, it's very tasty. It's just that, like, I've never made white queso before, and I don't know. I've made yellow queso before. I've made like bean dip and like cheesy bean dip with like regular Hormel chili and whatnot, and so I'm eating this right now. And it's that classic thing where, like, while eating this, I'm going to be wishing that I had like a bean dip or like a regular queso dip the whole time that I'm eating this. So it's okay. I mean, it's pretty good. It's my first try. The queso that I bought, it sat in my fridge for like, I don't know, 2 days, which shouldn't be anything. The fridge was always on. But it was like kind of like crumbly, and I don't know that it melted up exactly like a regular queso. So I don't know if that was like the brand that I chose, or like, I don't know. I've never made white queso before, so maybe I just didn't even buy the right kind of queso. Either way, this is perfect. It really is. It is good. I'll probably soup it up with like a little hot sauce and everything, and then I won't care anymore. And yeah, perfect for a nice little cozy night in. Once again, it did get a little bit warm in here with the diesel heater on and whatnot, so I have the door kind of cracked a little bit, but now the temperature is perfect. It's been like 2 days, maybe 3. I don't know. It's been a few days of me just trying to get away from the weather, trying to get away from the wind specifically, really. And you know, I filmed the whole thing anyway, just like I normally would. But like, finally, at the last scene of the video, the wind has finally stopped. Oh man, isn't that the way she goes? I don't know, I'd say we lived the best truck camper life that we could these last couple of days. Obviously, you can't control the weather, so I mean, it all worked out, dude. Like, even when the weather's not favorable, especially with like wind and stuff like that, like, I love this lifestyle. I love living in a truck camper. I love having the option to be able to take my house and try to get away from the weather, you know. So I mean, either way, like, I still have a good time, and I'd say I still had a great time these last couple days. But the biggest bummer, really, or like the biggest just like punch in the gut, was yesterday when like I left Paige and I was unsure about it because, like, you know, the wind was crazy and I don't like driving my truck camper and super high winds. And so I knew that like right outside of Paige, I could test it out on the highway. And if the wind was like rocking the camper too much or something, I knew that like right across the Arizona-Utah sign, like across the border, I knew that there was a spot that I could just go stay at and just give up, obviously, but I had a place to go, you know, if the winds were too much, but they weren't. And so that gave me a lot of hope, you know. So like when I made it into Utah, the spot that I wanted to go to was only like a little less than an hour away, and everything was going great. So when I got to that dirt road, I was pretty pumped because like I thought that I was gonna make it, dude. I thought that we were gonna end this truck camper life episode and my struggle with the last couple days. I thought we were gonna end it all at a magnificent spot at the very least. The thing is like I got onto the dirt road and everything was fine, like, but it had clearly like kind of rained a little bit. The road was solid, dude. I got out, I walked it, and everything was just fine. And so I was like, sweet, dude, we're still gonna do this. But then the moment that I crossed over the cattle guard, which was like, that was like 2 or 3 miles into the BLM land. But the moment that I crossed over the cattle guard, my truck just started just sliding all over the place, dude, and I almost lost control. And I could not tell. The road on the other side of that cattle guard looked almost identical to the road that I've been driving for several miles before. But obviously it had been raining out there. Nobody else had driven it in obviously a very long time. And so it was just some sneaky mud, and it definitely fooled me. So yeah, I started kind of like fishtailing, and so obviously I let off the gas right away, and then I was like sliding. It was kind of downhill, so I was like sliding, and I just kind of, dude, it was pretty nerve-wracking actually. I just like kind of pushed the brakes. That didn't really help that much. I put it down into first as well, just to try to slow it down. Hitting the brakes just made the truck slide more. But luckily, we did come to a stop. And at that point, I was wondering if I was even going to be able to get back out. So I just left the truck there. I got out. I walked the extra 2 miles that I still had to go to that spot that I wanted to go to, just to like survey the road and everything like that, because like I'm now at the bottom of a hill that like I slid down. So I decided to walk the 2 miles to the spot to see if like the road was okay, because like I didn't think I'd probably be able to make it back up that muddy hill, dude. And the road was like pretty okay to that spot. I could have stayed there, but it was at the very bottom of like a basically just like in the valley of like surrounded by just gorgeous. Just wait till you see this spot, dude. Again, that's why it's such a bummer, but like it is at the bottom surrounded by a bunch of beautiful mountains. And I decided not to stay there because it's supposed to be like in the 30s during the day, but like in the 15 to 16 degrees the next couple nights, and it's supposed to snow. And so that road was like okay, like I would have made it down, but it's down, and I just think in the next couple days, dude, with that snowfall, it's just gonna make the road super wet, and I don't know that I'll be able to make it back up. So I did put the truck in 4-wheel drive, and I did just keep my momentum, but like steady, not too fast. And I did barely like make it back up that super muddy hill. And then now we're at this spot, which is still super beautiful, dude. You guys, if you've been following along with the channel, you know that like I don't like to camp at spots like this, these little hidey hole like van lifer right by the side of the road type of spots. But in times like these, I am super grateful for a spot like this. It's right next to the road, the solid part of the road. There's no chance of getting stuck. It's a beautiful night out finally with no wind. We've got just gorgeous snow all over the mountains here. So all in all, this is still a better spot than most, and this is just a beautiful area, and I'm stoked to be able to have finally made it out here. And I'm glad that there's not any trees that I have to worry about. And also, dude, like I don't know yet. I haven't actually taken a whole ton of time to look at the footage. It looked good while I was flying it, but like when I put that drone up in the air with the wind and everything, it was giving me all kinds of warning beeps and buzzes, and it was like, lower the drone immediately, lower the drone immediately, high winds, like, so I suppose we'll see how that footage turned out. I hope it turned out good, obviously, since it's in this video, but I did the best. I tried. The wind would not die down, and it did die down finally now, but of course it's dark. So thanks for coming along on this interesting truck camper life adventure. I know it wasn't full of like the normal camp and cook meals, and probably not as full of like all of the amazing scenery that I even am normally used to, but it's the way she goes, dude. You have to take the good with the bad, you know? I mean, you can only really appreciate the good because you've experienced the bad, you know, and it just makes the good that much better. So I would say either way, we ended this on a really good note. So I suppose on that good note, that about wraps this one up, guys. Way she goes, I suppose. If you made it this far in the video, then chances are you're probably into this kind of stuff. So make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and keep on living that dream. And if you haven't found that dream yet, don't stop looking for it, because you never know where it might be. You might even find that it's driving through multiple states, running away from the wind, just barely not being able to get away from it, and almost getting stuck in the mud, still ending up at a very free, very cozy, great camp spot. And just being grateful that you have that cozy spot to stay during a winter storm. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.